Have you ever wondered about the profound insights contained within the Dhaniya Sutta of Buddhism? Today, we delve into this fascinating discourse, drawing back the veil to reveal its timeless wisdom. The Dhaniya Sutta, also known as the Discourse to Dhaniya the Herdsman, is a captivating narrative that unfolds in the ancient Buddhist scriptures. Originating from the Khuddaka Nikaya, one of the 5 collections in the Sutta Pitaka, it has been an enduring source of inspiration and guidance for many. This sutta presents a compelling dialogue between Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, and Dhaniya, a simple herdsman. The conversation takes place on the banks of the river Ganges, under the vast Indian sky, with the Buddha's disciples as silent witnesses. It's a scene that evokes tranquility and serenity, setting the stage for a deep exploration of truth and enlightenment. In this discourse, Dhaniya, content with his simple life, expresses satisfaction with his worldly possessions. He takes pride in his hut, his wife, his children, and his herd of cattle. However, the Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, offers a different perspective. He presents a contrasting view of contentment, one that transcends the physical and delves into the spiritual. The Buddha talks about his own hut of enlightenment, his wife of wisdom, his children of moral virtues, and his herd of disciplined thoughts. In this metaphorical comparison, he highlights the fleeting nature of worldly possessions and the enduring peace that comes with spiritual enlightenment. The Dhaniya Sutta is not just a philosophical discourse. It is a profound journey that takes us from the tangible to the intangible, from the temporal to the eternal. It illuminates the path to inner peace and contentment, steering us away from the transient pleasures of the physical world. In essence, the Dhaniya Sutta serves as a metaphor for the spiritual journey to enlightenment. It encourages us to look beyond the material, to seek satisfaction not in possessions but in wisdom, virtue, and discipline. It is a beacon that guides us towards a life of simplicity, contentment, and spiritual fulfillment. At the heart of the Dhaniya Sutta lies a profound dialogue between Dhaniya and the Buddha. This interaction, full of wisdom and insight, illuminates the stark contrast between a life bound by worldly desires and a life of spiritual enlightenment as exemplified by the Buddha. In their conversation, Dhaniya, a herdsman, expresses contentment with his earthly possessions. He takes pride in his well-kept cattle, his sturdy thatched house, his loving wife, and the security he feels from potential threats. His happiness, as he perceives it, is deeply rooted in the material world. In response, the Buddha, with his boundless wisdom, presents a vastly different perspective. He speaks of a life unburdened by material possessions, a life free from the shackles of worldly desires. He talks about the impermanence of life and the futility of clinging to transient things. His house, he says, is roofless, symbolizing a mind open to the skies of wisdom and knowledge. His herd, he explains, is self-restraint, which roams freely in the pasture of righteous living. The Buddha's dialogue with Dhaniya is not just an exchange of words, it's a beautiful contrast of 2 different worldviews. While Dhaniya's happiness is tied to his possessions and the predictability of his life, the Buddha's joy stems from his freedom from desires, his detachment from the material world, and his deep understanding of the transient nature of life. This dialogue, thus, serves as a profound lesson in the Buddhist philosophy of detachment and the impermanence of worldly possessions. It teaches us that true peace and happiness are not found in what we possess, but in the freedom from the desire to possess. It reminds us that the things we cling to are fleeting, and that real tranquility comes not from holding on, but from letting go. The Buddha's words serve as a reminder that true peace and happiness lies beyond the material world. It is a call to look inward, to seek happiness not in external possessions, but in the richness of our inner selves. It is a timeless lesson that remains as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. The Dhaniya Sutta introduces us to several key Buddhist concepts. Among these, the 4 Noble Truths stand at the heart of Buddha's teachings. They are a fundamental guide to understanding the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. First, the truth of suffering. It acknowledges that in life there exists suffering. Second, the truth of the cause of suffering. It identifies desire or attachment as the root cause of suffering. Third, the truth of the end of suffering. It reassures us that suffering can be ended. And fourth, the truth of the path. Leading to the end of suffering, it provides a practical guide to liberation from suffering. This leads us to another core concept, the Eightfold Path. It is this path that the fourth noble truth refers to. It is a comprehensive system of practice that guides us towards ethical living, mental discipline, and wisdom. The path includes right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Each step on this path is essential for achieving a state of enlightenment. Now let's delve into the concept of nirvana, another key idea introduced in the Dhaniya Sutta. Often misunderstood, nirvana is not a place, but a state of being. It represents the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Nirvana is the state of liberation from the cycle of birth and death, the cessation of all suffering, and the end of all forms of desire and attachment. It is a state of profound peace, absolute freedom, and unconditioned joy. In essence, the Dhaniya Sutta presents these concepts as integral tools to guide us on our spiritual journey. They provide a roadmap to understanding the nature of existence, the cause of suffering, and the way to liberation. They encourage us to live ethically, cultivate wisdom, and ultimately, to experience the profound peace of nirvana. These concepts form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy and practice. How can the teachings of the Dhaniya Sutta be applied to our daily lives? This question invites us to delve deeper into the practical aspects of these profound teachings. The Dhaniya Sutta, in its essence, advises us to lead a life of mindfulness, detachment, and inner peace. These concepts might appear abstract at first glance, but they can be woven into the fabric of our everyday life, creating a tapestry of tranquility and fulfillment. Let's begin with mindfulness. The Dhaniya Sutta teaches us to live in the present moment, to be fully aware of our thoughts, actions, and feelings. This might seem like a tall order in our fast-paced world, but it's more attainable than you might think. It could be as simple as taking a few moments each day to sit in silence, focusing on your breath, or perhaps really tasting your food at mealtimes instead of eating mindlessly. These small acts of mindfulness can help anchor us in the present, providing a sense of calm amidst the storm of daily life. Next, we have detachment. The Dhaniya Sutta encourages us to let go of our attachments, be they material possessions, relationships, or even our own self-identities. This doesn't mean we should renounce everything and live as hermits. Rather, it's about understanding the impermanent nature of all things and learning to appreciate them without clinging. This practice can lead to a sense of freedom and ease, as we no longer feel the need to constantly grasp at things or fear their loss. Lastly, the pursuit of inner peace. This is the ultimate goal of the Dhaniya Sutta. Inner peace comes from developing a deep sense of contentment, irrespective of our external circumstances. It's about finding happiness within ourselves rather than seeking it in the outside world. This can be achieved through regular meditation, practicing gratitude, or simply by being kind to ourselves and others. The Dhaniya Sutta, thus, offers a roadmap to leading a more mindful and fulfilling life. It invites us to embrace mindfulness, cultivate detachment, and pursue inner peace. And in doing so, it promises a life of tranquility, fulfillment, and deep, lasting happiness. As we bring our discussion on the Dhaniya Sutta to a close, let's reflect on its timeless wisdom. We've journeyed through the heart of this profound text, unveiling its dialogue, exploring its key concepts, and considering its application in our daily lives. The Dhaniya Sutta, as we've discovered, is not merely an ancient Buddhist scripture. It is a compass, a guide that offers insight into our lives and our world today. The dialogue between the Buddha and the herdsman Dhaniya, which we delved into, is not just a conversation. It's a metaphorical exchange that symbolizes the contrast between worldly desires and spiritual liberation. Dhaniya, entranced by worldly possessions, is the embodiment of our human tendencies to cling to transient joys. On the other hand, the Buddha, representing the path of enlightenment, echoes the virtues of non-attachment and peace. The key concepts of the Dhaniya Sutta are as relevant today as they were over 2,000 years ago. Impermanence, the inherent unsatisfactoriness of existence, and the illusion of self. These truths hold a mirror to our modern lives, prompting us to question our preconceptions and urging us to seek a deeper understanding of our existence. Applying the teachings of the Dhaniya Sutta in our daily lives may not be an easy task, but it's undoubtedly a rewarding one. It encourages us to cultivate mindfulness, to live in the present moment, and to seek contentment not in external possessions, but within ourselves. It teaches us to navigate life's storms with serenity, to embrace change with grace, and to find joy in the simple act of being. As we wrap up our exploration of the Dhaniya Sutta, let's carry its timeless wisdom with us. Let's strive to embody its teachings, not just in moments of quiet contemplation, but in the hustle and bustle of our everyday lives. It serves as a gentle reminder that the path to enlightenment is not somewhere out there, but right here, in our hearts and minds. Thank you for joining this enlightening exploration of the Dhaniya Sutta. May the wisdom of the Buddha guide you on your path to enlightenment.